I think that the main thing that helps the most is to be compassionate with yourself and with others.
Compassionate with yourself? I would say that what really helps is to be compassionate with the mind-body organism. It's an imperfect mechanism, right? So it's very, see how language can produce an immense confusion, because if I say myself, then I'm recognizing that there is a little self here that is separated from consciousness, and that thing is the very corner of illusion. So there is no separate self. Really, there is no little self. There is no little consciousness there, not here, not there, not everywhere. And that is, the essence of the whole teachings of Advaita and non-duality. So words where the word self is included need to be used very carefully, like yourself, self-respect, self-esteem, self-development, self-concept. All these self-something are very confusing words for the seeker, and they promote exactly what you don't want to have in your life, which is confusion and identification with a false little self that is not there.
What I really mean is compassion for the mind-body organism.
Yes, compassion for the mind-body organism is perfectly clear, because it will keep you away from that identification.
However, when you talk to people, it's very difficult to replace self-respect by something else, right? Because that's what because that's what we have an agreement about, that it means that, even though if we can, in aparte, clarify what we mean, there is no one word. There is a sentence, but there is no one word.
Yes, this is a problem with the language that is very real. What Evelyn is saying, she's saying, well, language is an agreement, right? So let's say you're giving a talk to people that have no idea of non-duality, and you need to use the idea, the concept of self-respect or self-worth or self-whatever. And then instead of that, you say, well, and respect for the mind-body organism, and they will look at you like, what? What are you saying, right? So, yes, because language is an agreement, right? So when we violate the agreement with something that is foreign to most people participating, then of course it will create reactions. But most important, is that you have the ideas clear here, that you apply this type of language that comes from non-duality in your own internal dialogue, so that doesn't lead you into identification and confusion. And when the word self comes into your head here, don't use it. Just use the word mind-body organism. And then you will not be confused. When you need to give a talk to individuals that have no idea about this, because they are in the first steps of metaphysics, well, you have no choice. You will say self-respect. You will say self-esteem, right? That's okay. Eventually, there is a certain value to the metaphysical journey, where we are into self-improvement, which in reality is improvement of the mind-body organism, because you as consciousness, you don't need to be improved whatsoever. But there is a certain value, because hopefully that work will produce certain results. What are the results? The results is the removal of some obstacles in the mind-body organism that are preventing, the organism to work in a more healthy way, physically and mentally. We are really past the time. Let's stop here. I want to mention to all of you three little things. Look, first of all, if you want to give a donation, in the email that I sent to everyone, there's a link, and you can go to a button in our website and you can make a small donation. The suggested donation is $15 for these Satsang events. The other thing is that for those of you that have not gone through the awakening protocol with me, I recommend it. Even if you are already seeing the kind of catching the awakening and becoming more and more established into the awakening state, I recommend it because I have seen over and over that really helps. You can find information in the website by clicking first in a tab that is called, well, in the same email I put a link that goes to that particular page. The second thing I want to mention, or third, is that I offer through the Brain Optimization Institute some tuition-free classes. There are 6 hours of training in either brain optimization with emphasis in nutrition, or life coaching with emphasis in cognitive psychology, or 6 hours of training in psychology of consciousness with emphasis in non-duality. You're welcome to ask for these classes. They are free and they have valuable content. So you just go to the website, you will see a tab at the top, it says free tuition, free classes, and you click there and you will see it's kind of self-explanatory from then on.
Are they videos or
Videos. There are 3 hours video each one of the classes, and there are 2 classes for each one of the courses. And they're valid for the certification if you later you want to go for the certification.
There's also a free test for the brain.
Sorry?
There's also a free test for the brain to determine your brain.
Yes, there is also a free test there in the website if you want to determine the health of your brain from this perspective of the neurotransmitters. Now, of course, is the brain that you as consciousness are using to be able to interface with the physical world. So talk about something important, it's an instrument, it's not you, you're not the brain, but you're using the brain. And the brain has to be in good conditions. So these are valuable, there's valuable information and classes and so on how to keep your brain in the best condition possible. For the same reason, if your brain is totally messed up, even if you have awakened, it will bring you into identifications.
Well, if you're awakened and you have Alzheimer's, you may not remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. And we can avoid an Alzheimer if we understand how to avoid an Alzheimer. So Ray is saying, you may be awakening, but if you get Alzheimer or a severe Parkinson or any of these horrendous neurological diseases that are nowadays available, then you may not be functioning as an awakened being here, at least. Yeah, it's very mysterious. The Jean Klein, for example, was an awakened teacher. Jean Klein. Yes, and he got Parkinson, and it seems that eventually this degenerated into something very, very bad, and therefore the question is, what happened with his awakening at that level? Well, Jim Driver, who was his disciple, he said, no, that sparkling awareness that he was identified with was always in his eyes. Well, maybe, I don't know, but if you can avoid an Alzheimer or whatever. Yes.
How do we know? Maybe people that have Alzheimer's or dementia really are, maybe some of them are awakened.
Yes. Diane is saying how we know, because maybe people that are have those diseases, they are awakened and they can stay awakened. Yes, it's possible.
Because they've lost
I,
their memory.
I don't know,
They're always in the now.
They're always in the now. So
They're always in the now.